And then for the next few days, the Fortune 100 and change literally wrote agreements, and then they had working committees with the government heads from the different departments, the different bureaucracies under the executives of the three countries, and they agreed to use each other's troops to suppress insurrections, and that's now come out in the AP and Ottawa Citizen headline, U.S. and Canada to use each other's troops to suppress insurrections. I mean, it's on. And Mexico signed on to that too. But see, that one issue is so massive that our government is completely run, not by Congress. I mean, Congress all the time asks to see Homeland Security documents, and they're told you're not allowed to see it. Bush signed executive orders. Obama signed executive orders on record. And the Homeland Security committees, co-equal with the president, say, we'd like to see those, and they say, no, national security. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that's because you couldn't get them through government, but through lawsuits. Bloomberg, 2 months ago, as you know, got the documents on the trillions of dollars that have been paid out, and almost all of it was to foreign banks, private companies, private individuals, media, thousands of newspapers, MSNBC, CNN, direct payments from the Federal Reserve. The private Federal Reserve gets your money and gives it to Muammar Gaddafi, the German government, the Chinese government, British, Irish. Everybody's getting this money but us. I mean, okay? And I got to listen to these Republicans sit up there and tell me about some welfare mom is the reason I've got all these taxes going up? I mean, this is amazing. And then the AP's got out another disinfo article saying super rich see taxes drop dramatically. That's a lie. Unless you're talking about the ultra offshore rich. See, the Republicans tell you that all the rich are perfect and wonderful and did nothing wrong. No, there's the ultra rich that get their money out of corporate welfare and using government to shut down their competition. And it's those rich teamed up with the illegal aliens, the labor unions. They're coming for the guns. They're going to tell the unwashed masses, we'll give you whatever you want, just take down the rich. And the poor people think the middle class is the rich, and they're going to shut down the middle class, not because the elite even want their money, so there's no competition to them in the future, and the poor will go on being poor. All right, so I'm ranting about the fact that we have an unelected government. That's what the world government is that it's select corporations and wealthy families. It's the classic names, the Oppenheimers, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Saxe-Coburg Gothas, you know them as the British Royal House of Windsor. I mean, just 3 weeks ago, the Queen of England suspended the Parliament in Canada because they didn't do what she said. And then they have all these TV shows about how the British have no power. When I've been in England, in London, they randomly shut down whole areas of London and say the Queen is not allowing anyone to use her roads today. And you're driving along with the cabbies while they're complaining about it. It's an exercise of power. The Queen doesn't allow billboards on the highways in the country. She owns most of Australia, most of Canada. Through the IMF and World Bank, most of our national parks were handed over in the mid-90s through Bill Clinton. And it's all on record. But see, the average American isn't stupid. They're experts on things that don't matter. They're experts on how to act cool at work. They're experts on how to watch football and know all the plays and all the characters and impress their buddies. Women know how to dress up like tarts. People know how to turn the TV on for their kids. They know how to eat Prozac and aspartame. They know how to drink sodium fluoride. People know how to take their Gardasil shots and have autoimmune disorders. They know how to lose. They know how to get hurt real bad. But the good news is even the mainstream media isn't buying this, and that's because the PDF is public. And it is the Internet ID, Internet Kill Switch tracking grid, so they can track everything you're doing. And I thought I'd play the deceptive PR video put out by NIST, a division of the Department of Commerce. It's all about commerce with these globalists. Where they describe their new safe voluntary system. Of course, It's just like Trusted Flyer. You'll go through all these background checks, let us control you, let us turn your travel into something that's okay if we say it's okay, and then we won't stick our hands down your pants. But you notice they never get around to implementing that. That's all the airports are concentration camp training. By the way, there's a congressman on record flipping out because they took his daughter away from him at the checkpoint to drag her off and grope her in front of him. This stuff isn't going to work. The globalists aren't going to break our will. They're not going to get away with it. But the point I was trying to get to earlier is this is a takeover by a select group of insider corporations that have written the rules for the IMF, the World Bank, the World Trade Organization. I know I keep hammering on this because this idea has got to get out there to people. And I've listened to Michael Savage probably once a week or twice a week when I'm driving around. I'll monitor his show when I'm able to hear it. And I finally heard him explaining the ultra-rich are using socialism to rob the middle class, to transfer it to themselves, and that all corporations are not good, and that there are two different classes of companies, you know, the small mom and pop, or even the larger free market corporations versus the globalist, and that the world government is a takeover of the planet by a select group of corporations. And that's absolutely true. But see, Republicans are defenseless against that because they've been taught anything a corporation does is great. Corporation gets corporate welfare, it's good. Corporation has its own intelligence agency spying on people, it's good. Corporations take control of Congress, it's good. The only group you got to go after is that evil, nasty, bad Van Jones and George Soros. Well, you go after them, you're only going after some mid-level minions and one side of the coin. But again, the good news here is every article I read, every talk show I heard talking about it, got it and understood what was happening. But here is the ridiculous disinformation that the media points out in these articles is inaccurate, is a lie. Here is the ridiculous propaganda about trusted IDs, trusted purchasers. This is going to solve all your problems when there's this standard ID system. And, of course, it never tells you in the 2-minute video exactly how it works. But then when you read the actual PDF, the White House, Homeland Security, the Pentagon, the IRS, they're trusted groups. They'll have the codes to your computer, your bank account, not like they don't already have them through the NSA systems, but now they're going to be able to use them. And they're going to monitor your account, not to spy on you, but to keep you safe, boys and girls. Why does the TSA stick their hand down your 2-year-old's pants and grab their genitals? Not to break your will and train you to have your kids taken away from you and to train Americans that they're all basically criminals and prisoners. No, it's to make sure Al-Qaeda didn't put a bomb in there because it's so scary about Al-Qaeda. Of course, there's no discussion of how Al-Qaeda is openly working against Gaddafi right now or how the number 2 in Al-Qaeda is secretly hanging out at the Pentagon and how that's all admitted. Let's continue here. Or how the head of the Naval War College a few years ago, one of their top strategists came out, Barnett, and said that the military does work for the Fortune 100 and not America. Let's go ahead and play this clip because they admit here, oh, it's voluntary, which isn't true, and it's a select group of corporations and government. Well, what have I been telling you for 10 years? Because I read their minutes that are public, that the takeover of the web. How did I break down the takeover of the web was going to happen? Well, I read what they said at their consortium meetings going back to 2000, so I guess 11 years ago. They even met here in Austin before, Internet 2. And at Internet 2 meetings, it's the Fortune 100 or so. It's not usually the 500. That's not fair. With a selection of government agencies from around the world. With guess who? That's right, the heads of the biggest universities. I saw in the news where the University of Texas bought $1 billion in gold, and everybody's freaking out over it going, why'd they do that? Well, because they understand gold is now part of the new global commodity system and is operating in the interim as a major part of the new world reserve currency as the dollar is phased out. But I heard people going on local news, well, if UT's got $1 billion, why is UT raising tuition? UT isn't even a university. None of these big universities are. They got a football team to make you feel like you're getting something. On average, none of you are going to get a job that's going to pay for that degree you got. UT is a private brokerage house, and UT in their fund, their liquid fund outside of their regular budget or their investments has over $100 billion. So, of course, they're raising tuition and parking, and they're state-funded and own the largest percentage of oil and natural gas and private property in Texas. Of course they got $1 billion in gold. So go ahead and go give them your money. That's only a small part of their business model, and you're not going to get any job out of it unless you get a Homeland Security-related job and as one of the new prison guards. But that's why sports is so big. That's why all this is so big, because it's all a facade for the ripoff that's going on. And I know you alumni don't like hearing that in your little boxes and feeling important and everything. UT is a big business. UT was involved with the seed money to set up Capstar and then Clear Channel and consolidate the radio market and then hand it over to Mitt Romney. So there's $100+ billion in there and $1 billion in gold. And guess what? You're going to pay more. And they're going to raise your taxes. And they're going to get that money. Because that's how America operates. It's a private organization, and they run things. And you go to that LBJ International School, what do they teach you? Aaron Dykes went there. World government's good. The family's bad. Eugenics is good. What'd they teach my dad when he was at UT 40-something years ago? Same thing. It's bought and paid for by them. It's their school, their corporation, their building. And I say more power to them. I think it's great how they suck all the taxes out of everybody, and how they get all the state money, and how all you love it and lick their boots. It's what you want, it's what you get. You want to get hurt bad, they're going to hurt you. That's only one university. It's all the same. The water districts, the power districts are all quasi-private. They're all scamming you hardcore. Don't worry, though. Donald Trump's going to save you. Yeah, Donald Trump, he's going to save you. We'll be right back. Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds?